Yo, yo, yo.
The
God damn it, y'all. Pushers. Shout out to all my Cosmic P pushers. Walk, 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 walk. We standing on Cosmic P. We standing on Cosmic P. You standing on Cosmic P. You can't be around me if you ain't on Cosmic P. Hey y'all, quickly, just came here to step in. Make sure I'm live on Instagram. On Instagram. On Instagram, fam. We in here, and because it's a lot of things that I see, and from another judgmental standpoint, I like to look at things as outside of my perspective and look at where I used to be and where I am now. And that helps to see where I have advanced because I can see where a lot of other people are, right? So, and you should be able to see yourself in those people, not judging them like they stupid and they just ain't gonna never get it. The same way when you become spiritual, you get to shitting on Christians, you get to shitting on whatever religion that you left instead of looking from a understanding lens. And there's a lot of people, J. Bar Hill, my Cosmic Pete push up, peace. Didn't expect anybody to show up because it's in the daytime right now. I know YouTube be popping at night. So when we step into these factors of looking at other people who on a spiritual journey who may be a year in, 30 minutes in, 30 minutes in, yeah, 30 minutes in, you know what I'm saying? Five months in or a year into this spiritual shit, right? Or they've had a spiritual awakening not too soon ago, and they come into, oh, they lied to us about this and they lied to us about that, whether Ankh is really this and the cross is really that. And a lot of the times it comes in from a historical point of view because that's where you should start. Like, that's where a lot of us actually started. They had to look at the history of things, right? You had to look at the history of things. He said, I'm chilling today. Popped up with the support, fam. Appreciate you as always, J. Bar Hill. Always pushing Cosmic P. So we enter those stages, and a lot of us that end up advancing end up forgetting that we were once those same people. How could you do that? Why would you do that? Don't you can't shit on people and expect them to come and hear what you got to say. Like, give some. So here today, I'm here to give some tidbits of one of the cosmic principles that I stand on. Right? One of the cosmic principles that I stand on. If you in here, drop a SOP in the comments, man. I know some people can't do it. They be listening at work and shit. But if you in here, drop a SOP. Stand on principle in the comments. I need another SOP in the comment. If you here, hit the like button. If you here, hit the like button. Hit that like button, y'all. Let me see some. Let me see a SOP in the comments. Let me see some SOPs. I got some lights. I see some lights that came in. Okay, it is what it is. And okay, let's see what J. Bob has said. Luckily, I had about a decade between Christianity and magic, where I was hardcore atheist, see, and got a bunch of the Christian hate slash trolling out of my system. That's advancement right there. Y'all seeing it right here live, or if you catching it on the replay. That's advancement right there because you have to move past that. That's that 30-second path type energy right there. Right? If you haven't, go back and watch the first, I think I want to say it's the first Occult Sunday service, right? Where we talked about how you get to advance past the 30-second path is through acceptance. That's Cosmic P. That's a principle. You have to accept what this shit is. You have to accept that everybody is not supposed to be on your path where you are. You have to accept that you can't be the Jesus of your family, of your Facebook friends, of your Instagram friends, or the ones on the street. You have to come into acceptance with this. You the only. Oh shit! I'm starting to read his damn comment, but that's how this shit works. You have to come into acceptance. So, one of the first things you have to come into acceptance of, or here's my principle: refine your standards and lower your expectations. Right there, what Jay Bob Hill just said. What he when he had that decade between Christianity and magic, and he was a hardcore atheist and had a bunch of that Christian hate and trolling going on. Once he got out of that, he had to do what? Refined, refine his standards and lower his expectations because he don't know which way this shit's gonna go. He in something new. Oh, he expected to maybe. I'm not saying him, but I'll use myself as an example because I did the same thing. I expected once I did the Christian troll and everybody would finally come like, oh man, what are you talking about? Help me out. I always felt something about Christianity. I always felt something about my religion. It wasn't right. You gotta lower your expectations because you don't know which way this shit gonna play out. But even though you went through that stage of the hate and this and trolling and this and that, it taught you something. So lower your expectation. You wasn't expecting that to teach you something. You thought you was doing whatever you doing with your trolling. And I'm speaking on myself as well. I know Jay by here feels the same. But you didn't expect that trolling that you was doing, where you thought you were teaching somebody, was gonna actually be teaching your ass a lesson. Your black ass, your white ass, your pink ass, your brown ass, your red ass, or green ass, whatever color your ass is. The ass with the dimples for the ladies. The ass with the stretch marks for the ladies. But you have to refine your standards and lower your expectations. Now you have new standards. Now you have new cosmic P, new principles that you can stand upon. Right? So the first one I want to say, and this one that I'm talking about, the first one is refine your standards and lower your expectations. Make sure you're standing on principles. Principles check out with through any fucking system that you go into. Any system that you read about or study and practice within, the principles are going to remain the same. The words may change, the terminology may change, but dealing on what group or system or type of people that you're dealing with. Because you have to understand the psychology of those people that end up writing these books, right? We have to understand the psychology of those people who end up writing these books. You have to understand my psychology and my background if you listening to my voice, if you watch my videos. You have to understand panics. Brother Bobby Hemmets, John Henry Clark's, Phil Valentine's, Red Pill, Blue Pill, whoever the fuck you listen to, Travis Majors, whoever the fuck you listen to, and a true adept will get into the mode of trying to understand a person's psychology, right? And understand the perspective that they're speaking from. So occultists, we try to speak in better terms of gen in general, right? Because it can make it more widespread. So that's mine. Refine your standards, lower your expectations. You don't know exactly how it's gonna come. Your ego, which is your identification system, tells you you want it to come this way, right? Let's say you ask for a fucking $1,000,000, right? You do a ritual to get $1,000,000, and you expect to get $1,000,000 just to pop up in your goddamn bank account. That ain't it. What if that $1,000,000 comes and you fuck around and catch a cold, right? You fuck around and get the the sniffles and shit, and your ass got to go down to CVS and get you some elderberry. You got to go down there and get you some elderberry. But check this out: you've been working on a project for about like 4 5 years, right? Or some art piece you're trying to put out, whatever the case may be. You fill in the blank. You've been working on it for so long. 5 goddamn times. It still ain't came through. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, damn, man, I'm trying to whoop the whoop. And you run into somebody. You're an artist. You run into a project manager or a person who hosts art galleries and is worldwide known. He's actually in town for an art gathering that's coming up at the end of the month or the week, and he had to stop at CVS and get a fucking apple. I don't fucking know. And he dropped it and he bumped his head on your knee, lifting up this head. And y'all had a crazy conversation that ended up leading you to that $1 million deal. That's what I mean by lower your expectations. This is principle. This is principle. Let's read J. Ball here comment. And let's read what he said. You know me, I don't understand on SP right now, but it's all good, bro. You know it's all good. Let it flow. I'm gonna do some chores, but we'll pop in and out the chat. All right. It says it's funny because I worked so hard convincing everyone I know God and religion are a lie, and now that most people I know is on that page, I'm like, whoops. Actually, we need God and Jesus. My B, my bad. Actually, we do need God and Jesus. My bad. Because now, for those who just watched that and read, they say, "Oh, we need Jesus." You need to check yourself. You need to refine your standards and lower your expectations because what you expect Jesus to be is not what Jesus is. That's a symbol. I don't believe a man named Jesus walked this God green earth. I don't, but I know the energy behind it. Tippereth. We're going to get into that today. You're going to have to remove your human ego ways. And I say ego, I don't mean pride and arrogance. What you can identify with normal thought processes of a normal human being. You need to get around and away from that. Hold up. Let's see who on IG. If you're on IG, oh, come over here to YouTube. Come over here to YouTube. Hold up. Cause IG gonna end, y'all. I know everybody's at fucking work. Everybody don't get up to the night. But yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember where the fuck I left off, but let's get into the first one, right? The first one still is the king principle over all this is still refine your standards and lower your expectations, right? So when you're thinking of spirits, right? So if you're a beginner and you get to hearing about Lilith, or you get to hearing about Ganesh, which we're gonna get into today, or you get to hearing about Mayat, Osiris, and Heru, and all of that shit. Your ego, which is your identification system, which does what? Help you identify things, right? And it needs to be identifiable to your mind. You need to have some representation in your mind. So that's why a lot of spirits are anthropomorphized. They have to have human characteristics so humans can relate to them, right? That's not exactly what it is. So you need to check your ego, not check your pride. Check the human faction of identifying with something that resembles you. Does that make sense? So, when you're dealing with spirits, you want to make sure when you're dealing with spirits, you want to get to this point. You need to study. That's why I deal with the occult, because the occult, when I would say Dion Fortune's a great teacher, Manly P. Hall's a great teacher, Francis Barden is a great teacher. Kenneth Grant is a great teacher. Brother Panic, Phil Valentine, goddamn Bobby Hemmett, goddamn my Gnosis, Travis Majors, great teachers. You can go do the study and look at the way that we talk about when we deal with spirits, right? The way that we deal with spirits is understanding there's an energy behind, there's a force behind that form. And that's a principle. Form is a channel for force to come through. Force can more so be related with the masculine principle, which would be spirit, which would be soul, which would be consciousness. But consciousness can't do shit. It needs a form to carry out any type of objectivity. And that's the divine feminine principle. The divine feminine principle ensouls force and gives it a form. So when you see pictures, these are forms. When you see pictures, these are forms. This is the same thing with a spirit. This is the same thing when you're dealing with a spirit, y'all. When you're dealing with a spirit or pictures of a spirit, God damn it. Right here, when you're dealing with Santisa Santa Mamorte, right? When you're dealing with Santisa Santa Mamorte, you think it's an actual bone lady somewhere with a red dress and blood dripping down and skulls by her side with a scythe. That's not the energy. I mean, hold up. That's not the actual goddess herself. It's not even a her. What it's representing is a feminine principle. Do you hear me? It's representing a feminine principle, which is different from a woman. Okay? We have to understand we live in a manifest reality. The masculine and feminine principle are equal in both aspects. When you're looking at Santisa Santa Muerte, you think death, you think scary, you think to be feared. That's because human ego has been taught to fear. I mean, fear, or fear death. The human mind has been taught to fear death. But everything that deals with death does not mean physical death. She does not mean always physical death. Rebirth. You want, see, when you come into spirituality, like you come into occultism or esotericism, you come into spirituality, you have to kill your old ways that you thought about God. And look, there's a number 17. Gotta write that down. Let's remember what I just said. You have to clear those thoughts that you had about God or the world or reality for you to become something new. So that's a death, right? And we're not talking about ego death. That's a whole nother thing. But you have to kill that mind frame. You have to kill that thought form in the way that you thought. We're going to get into more shit like that tonight. This is rebirth. And the Sith was originally used to cut the wheat, right? And when you cut in the wheat or when you cut in the plants, you actually putting it up for harvest because this shit can be used later. You see how Jay Hill broke down how when he was trolling a system, Christianity, just like normal folks who come into to spirituality end up doing. Did you see how Jay Hill did that? The very thing that he cut down and had to kill, he had to cause death to the wheat and ended up having to harvest it and throw it in the harvesting bin. And guess what? He had to use it again later. Well, he said, whoops, oops, actually, my bad. We actually do need God. See what I'm saying? His perception changed. An old part of him died and a new part of him was birthed again. That's the energy behind that. So, what's the energy behind that? Taking force, taking spirit, taking thought forms which exist in the mind, which is synonymous with consciousness, which is synonymous with spirit, which is synonymous with soul. You take that part that's no longer you needed and slice it. And when you slice something, you give it another form. The divine feminine principle is a form making machine. The divine feminine sets limits and creates forms. I know people gonna have to watch this on replay, but the divine feminine creates limits and sets forms. So right there, it had whatever was old had to go through a very vigorous process, had to go through a very detrimental process. Hold up. It had to go through a very detrimental process. It was ugly. It probably wasn't cute. You did what I'm saying? Ain't no probably. It's not. That's part of the 30-second path. It tarnishes you and it tests you to see if you're ready to advance further. And the way you advance further is by coming into acceptance that it is what it is. I mean that in all aspects. It is what the fuck it is. So you need to check your ego and stop thinking now we understand the force that's behind the form of these spirits, right? What else do we need to understand? We need to understand that spirits don't think in spirits are not subject to human morals, right? I want you to think about that. Hold up. Humans are not subject to human morals. Think about that. Your morals, um, well, you know what the fucking morals are, right? Whatever moral standards you have. Oh, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't. And it sounds fucked up, but that's because what I'm finna say because I may need to say something else. But what I'm finna say is you need to think outside of human morals. Okay, we don't need to do this and we shouldn't do that. Yeah, humans probably shouldn't do that. It's probably best that you shouldn't do that. But spirits don't move in that way. Soul spirit don't move in that way. Why is that? Because human moralistic thinking or human moralistic actions are only for here, down here. That's something the human ego created. That's why I tell you the ego is not bad. You need it. You need to be able to identify. That's what the ego does. It identifies. So you need to be able to identify pain. You need to be able to identify happiness. You need to be able to identify water from bleach, right? That's the ego. So you need it. You just need to check it and know when it needs to be inserted. Because when you're dealing with spirituality, you're not going to be able to intellectualize everything. You're not going to be able to bring everything into concrete thought. Some things are just unfucking explainable. Hold up. J. has Mr. Kabbalah, chapter 12, verse 3. There is a saying in the mysteries. See the blasphemy, not the name by which another knoweth his God. For if ye do this in our Allah, ye will do this in Adonai. Don't matter because we got it right here. But I just read it, chapter 12, verse 3. Oh, shit. Fuck it. I can't find it. But key right there. See what I'm saying? So you'll come over here to one God and be you will be blasphemous over there to somebody else God. Now that you coming over here and hiding spiritual, now you Mayat this or Oshun this or Santisa Santa Muerte that or Lilith that. You'll bring that same energy over to whatever new system you've adapted, right? That's the way that humans move. And that's why a lot of people get stuck. That's why we're trying to turn you from zero to spiritual hero. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people don't understand this. And they won't. Not because they can't. I'm not saying they can't. They won't because they're stuck in their idealism. They're stuck in the way of that religion that they came out of, which was honestly, can I say, the way that we were taught didn't help us advance in understanding. It just gave us rules and moralistic values. Spirits don't work that way. When you look in the Bible, God was tearing shit up. Oh, you niggas over there doing what? Burn that bitch. Oh, you niggas over there doing what? Flood that bitch. Oh, you niggas over there doing what? Send a tornado through that bitch. Spirit don't think like that. And I know you think, oh, that God was this and that God was that. Nigga, that's understanding cosmic P. That's understanding principles of how this shit actually works. It doesn't move in terms like not because I'm black, right? And a lot of black people we say, oh, those tornado, oh no, those hurricanes be the spirits of our ancestors coming across the ocean. But did you think about when those spirits that you claim that's coming across the ocean, when they hit borders and cities and states, it kills kids, it kills mothers, it kills elderly people, it kills that man who was just on the way to give his son a birthday present. That woman who's working 4 jobs trying to take care of her kids and doing the right thing and go to church every Sunday. Did you think about that? So this is what I mean when I say when you're looking at spirits, you need to remove moralistic understandings of the principle of spirits. They don't work in the same manner. That's why you need to be that's why you need to refine your standards and lower your expectations. So when you're doing your ritual, you need to be standing on principle and understanding. Every cause has an effect. And it comes in polarities. We live in a polarized plane of existence, which means when you asking for prosperity, you know what comes with it? The opposite of prosperity. Being hindered, being stuck, being poor, being unknowledgeable. That comes with it. How do you balance those out? Hit me up for a consultation. That's a slight promotional drop right there. It's coming soon though. But if you did want to hit me up on IG or whatnot, I ain't against it. And we can tap work something out over there. But you got a nigga who been doing this shit and doing this shit full time now for 11 years now. You know what I'm saying? I got experience, and this is what I'm trying to do. I'm here to try to help people advance past their normal human thought. This is what this is about. This is how the veils get lifted. Because more veils are being lifted on in general, but a lot of people aren't ready for them. They're gonna shiver and shit themselves when they hear about AI or so-called aliens. I'm not saying I believe or don't believe in aliens. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Now that more information is coming out about what the government actually does, now that more information is coming out about this and people are seeing this and people experiencing that, now that more of this shit is coming out, some people running, ducking, and dodging. Not the ones that watch this video. The ones that watch this video will not be among the rest of societal norms. This is what I mean. So remove your concepts of thinking spirits move like humans. Cause like I like to tell people, like when you having dreams and you fucking on an astro plane, it doesn't mean the same thing as fucking down here. So when you're having dreams and you done had sex with somebody, it doesn't mean the same perverted thing here. That's just the only form that your mind can demonstrate force to you. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That's the only way that form can give it to you. Peace, Don. Peace, Don Tree. Peace, Don Tree. Appreciate you, gang. Keep showing up. Keep showing up. That's love when you keep showing up. I appreciate that, bro. Stand on motherfucking principle. Here's another cosmic P pusher. So when you fucking in the astro realm, it doesn't mean the same thing. And I had to figure this out on my own. And then go searching for it. I had to figure this out on my own. Yes, sir. Your side is called the illusionary sphere. So when you get up to the astral planes, right? So we know your side actually is the etheric plane, which creates the outline of the form. When you get to the astral plane, which gets filled up with emotion, because emotion is the substance that runs the astral plane. This is principle. Everybody's not saying that. I'm not saying I'm the only one saying that, but I'm just saying everybody's not saying that. Oh, let me astro travel. Let's astro travel. You don't know the principles of the foundations of these planes because you have to travel into the etheric body first before you get to the yesodic. I mean, before you, which is the yesod plane, which is form, which is shapes, which is what a human looks like when you see a tree in the astral plane. That's an etheric shape. But that emotion and what it represents, the energy behind it, is the astral substance, which is emotion. So when you get up there fussing and fucking on the astral plane, it's not what that means. It's not what that means. This is the only way that your mind, since it has, shout out to Travis Majors, LVX777, but since your mind has not updated its library of correspondences, you don't have any other correspondences to relate it to. So the mind is like, okay, what's the thing? What's something that we can give them? What's something we can give them? Okay, they understand six. They understand six. But you have to come back, and when you come into your conscious mind, now you use your ego to identify and break down. My hat always look crooked on this motherfucker. See, that's the ego, nigga. I always trying to identify with something. Anybody stud my hat till I fucking fixed it. But what was I talking about? You update your library of correspondences, it has to give, if it can only, even when you do update it, your mind still has to give something to you that you can correspond with. So when you come back into your ego, which is your conscious mind, once you wake up from your dream, you have to put these parts together, right? It's only giving you shit that you know, but you have to probably go deeper. So when you understand what is sex, that's an exchange of energy. That's an intimate form of bonding with someone outside of the perverted way of it, right? So we know when we have sex, we give off energy. So look at the dream. Did you initiate the sex? Did the other person initiate the sex? That could be a hint to what energy is given off to you. Because I've had sex with these goddesses that motherfuckers is talking about. Shout out to Pan. Remember, he talked about that shit. I didn't do it on purpose. These goddesses came to me, and I'm getting cosmic pussy. Sorry if that offends anyone, but this is real shit, though, and this is just my character, right? But that's the real shit. It doesn't mean I actually fucked Yeminya or actually fuck Oya. Oh, now I'm giving a name. Some people may be offended, but it doesn't mean that I actually did that. There was an exchange of energy. I was working with Oya and Kali Ma at the same goddamn time. If you seen my videos of me talking about my experience with the dark divine feminine energy, go check that shit out. Trippy shit. I'm talking about, bro. I'm coughing up black mucus and some more shit. I ain't heard fucking with Lilith. I coughed up some fucking black mucus, and I was crazy enough to do it 3 goddamn times to make sure I'm not tripping. And my ex, she witnessed it. If I could have her on here, but ain't no point of having her on here. If I could have her on here, she can tell you she witnessed it, nigga. That goddess energy is not a joke. And why is that, right? Because when we deal with the feminine principle, what is it? It's the pillar of severity. That divine feminine principle is not nothing nice. Let me hold off on that because we're gonna get into that, right? So we went over um understanding that these spirits don't have moral forms of thought like you as a human do, right? Because it's way past human thoughts when you're dealing with spirits. These spirits don't move like that, because these spirits are forms that have been built up over eons, thousands of years. They have a whole bunch of energy stored into them from the collective unconsciousness of man and high priest who understood the type of shit that I'm talking about. So all of that force and that form is all charged up with thought and energy. If you watch my last video, we reading Applied Magic by Dion Fortune on every Sunday, 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We standing on Cosmic P. See what's going over here on Instagram before we get to the second one. If you on Instagram, come to YouTube. What are you on Instagram for? You know you ain't finna sit there and hold your phone on Instagram. Instagram is made for scrolling. Pull up on us on YouTube. My Gnosis. BMW. Oh, go there. Come holler at me on YouTube, dog. That's my dog. He's a country. I can't show you because I'm on Instagram looking at you. Just join, bro. Bring your ass over here to YouTube, bro. Here, a normal nigga, a cultist, and a rapper. I can't call him normal. He's very extravagant. Salute to you, Brody. Salute to you, Brody. So What we doing here, the next one we about to go into is what? Don't confuse the planes. Damn, I already went over it, didn't I? Let's read a quote out of Miss Dion Fortune's Applied Magic book, which we read last weekend, which we'll be reading again. I'm gonna read that uncommon in a minute, J Ball here. It is not enough. This is why you need to understand the planes, right? It kind of goes into my third one. But this is why you need to understand the planes. Because if you mixing up the planes, if you mixing up the planes of existence or the spiritual planes, you gonna be the type of person that think because you're a man, you're more divine. Or you think you're a woman, you're more divine. Or you think that if you're a woman and you do rituals and magic that you think men somehow magic is less potent than yours, or if you're a man, you think females' magic is somehow less potent than yours. Some people come down here with heightened psychic senses. When I say psychic, I don't just mean reading mind. I mean energies on the subtle plane. Reality coming into a realization of the principles on the subtle planes. Some people are more heightened, some people are more clairvoyant than others. You see what I'm saying? Some people are auditory. You see what I'm saying? Some people are whatever that shit is that feel more than others. That's it. I know some men that's shitting on women when it comes to doing rituals. I know some women that shitting on men when it comes to doing rituals. Some people are more heightened and more advanced than others. It has nothing to do because you're a man, you can't perform rituals the right way. Or when you a man, when you get to the astral plane, you can't do this. Or when you a woman, when you get to the astral plane, you can't do this because you a woman. Like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? Throwing your baggage around of how much you hate the next gender and then covering it up with disguise of you being spiritual. Like, that shit ain't getting nobody nowhere. That's gonna keep your ass stuck and rigid. You ain't going past the 30-second path thinking like that. This is not the principles this shit is set upon. Let's read J by here a comment. One of my friends said to me a long time ago, I've accepted I am Lilith. I'm Lilith's true toy. Damn. Really can't say it better. See, when you accept that shit, that's the reality. That's crazy as hell. I never accept no shit like that because I understand it's just an energy that exists in the unconscious mind of what we call God or man or humans. The unconscious collective. I would never accept that. Oh, I'm just a chew toy. That's the same thing as saying the archons or the demiurge is doing this and the devil is doing this and I just and like you ain't taking no authority over your spiritual path. Some people move like that. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't advise anybody here to move or think like that. That's not useful and appropriate for spiritual growth. She's gonna be that not no judgment to your friend, but that person is probably going to be stuck right there unless they run into some different information or different things that enlighten them to tell them, hey, you can move the fuck on. Let's see what Don Tree said before I get on. That's when social media can. That's where social media can get folks confused. It's really an echo chamber of content with no context. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And now I'm at a certain degree in my spiritual path, right? And I be trying to get deeper into deep shit, and I be understanding like, damn, well, the majority of people on the internet are not actually understanding what the fuck I'm talking about because they haven't reached this point yet. So that's why I have to use now. You got to understand marketing. When you understand marketing, you understand psychology. If you understand the psychology, you understand the spiritual shit. When you understand the spiritual shit, you understand the planes, right? So now you have to. Here's a 3-step quick guide for spiritual beginners. In parentheses, advance faster. Clickbait. You got to use it. But it's up to you to actually have some meat on that bone when they get in here. I got meat on this bone. No diddy. I think he means it more in the sense that she and many of these similar gods will really kick your ass into shape. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Great. Great. So let me remove that energy that I was talking about with your friend. I want to keep that same word and that verbiage that I said though. I want to keep that same word and verbiage that I said because there are people who use who understand or move with these energies like that. So the context still remains with what I said, but the con the content changes. So I didn't mean so I remove that energy that I sent out with that on the etheric waves, right? Like working with them is either getting you shit together or else it ain't gonna be no fun. And that's facts. That's facts. That is facts. Gotta recognize when you are on the tree and must transcend it altogether to remember the unborn nature of the soul. The nature of the soul. Some kill Darshan. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Good, bad, and the ugly truth. When accepted, becomes beautiful. Santa Tisa Santa Mamuerte is beautiful to me. Mwah! I kiss her, man. I kiss her, man. Why do you kiss her, man? Because it's not a real her any goddamn way. It's the energy that exists within me and you. This is what you're doing when you're so-called worshiping, right? Even though, that's a strong word to not use around niggas like me, which is occultist and spiritual. But I understand it at a different understanding now. You're creating a sympathetic rapport with that energy that exists within you. That is worship. You're creating a sympathetic rapport with that energy of that spirit that exists in you. And the only way really, and the only way they really rumble you if you have humbling needing done. Facts. Oh, I know because Lil was one of those spirits I was most afraid to work with because all of the dumb shit people say that they really don't know. And I've had real experiences with Lilith too, as well, J. Hell. That's what I was talking about, spitting up that black mucus. Oh, yeah, it gets down and dirty, it gets down and scary. But scary enough to make me not do it again? No, I did it 2 more motherfucking times and had breakthroughs. Watch that video. Dig? Fast forward now, I laugh so hard because Lilith is one of the most intensely loving energies I have ever met. Did you hear that? And that's on some caliphatic shit dealing with Lilith because he's came into rapport and sympathy with that energy that exists within him. But she's scary too. She wants to be. Facts. So don't confuse the planes. Don't confuse the fucking planes. Understand the difference between the Malkuth, which is Earth, and we're not talking about just physical Earth, but they can go in there with it. Malkuth is a plane that has all the energies of the cosmos that shoots down into it. So it's the most condensed, the most what's the word? Complex plane of existence. This is the most complex plane of existence, which brings in problems within itself, and also which at the same time is a beautiful thing within itself. Let's see what we got on IG. What up? What up? What up? What up? Look at my knee, man. There go, there go the AGM big dog Staples. What's happening, family? What is happening, family? I ain't holler at you in a minute, bro. I ain't holler at you in a minute. Then my nigga little Alex, big 80. Like these I'm over here on IG looking at like these folks from my hometown who know me as a street nigga and seeing what I have turned into. You see what I'm saying? They seen what I turned into, and not everybody but enough that I give a fuck about that respect it. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna always be love, no matter how much spiritual a nigga get. They always showing a nigga love anytime. And always, I will always do the same thing. This life and the next. They probably ain't sticking around, but they tapped in and they listen for a couple seconds. See, that's the thing about when you come into this spiritual path and you come into acceptance, you got to understand when you speak in light, those who are supposed to hear it, these people I just mentioned or may don't mention, probably still may be in the streets, but when they hear certain shit, it hits them. They may not be ready to come full fledged into it yet, but it gives them life. It gives them light, enlightenment. You see what I'm saying? That little bit right there can change a person's life. It sits on the subconscious mind. Fuck the conscious mind. The conscious mind is trying to, not that, not that, okay, that, not that. The conscious mind is trying to do that. So when you speak a little bit of light, it hits that person's subconscious mind, but goes into their spirit, which goes into this whole factor of awakening. And that's how it happened. Not by giving them a whole, man, this and that, Jesus, this and this and that, or Allah this and this and that, or the small hat people, this and this and that. That don't fucking work. It may, but it ain't gonna get them to no spiritual understanding. It's gonna get them fueled off of anger, and that's good. You need that anger and hate that stars up that fuse the fire. That's why I started. Everybody I know started there, and then they end up coming down here to this occult, spiritual, esoteric path. No facts, bro. Gotta have balance. Yeah. You definitely was planting seeds with that, bro. Definitely was. And unfortunately, I was driving, so I had to read it real quick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Tap in real quick. Here's a message. Stay the fuck off IG while y'all driving, all right? I almost swerved and hit a pole trying to watch this nigga post. So, don't confuse the planes. I want to keep this at an hour. I'm sorry, y'all. I want to keep this at an hour. At least an hour. Right? So, so you understanding symbolism, right? You understand the hidden meaning behind these symbols. First of all, look at them and see what that represents to you. What does that mean to you? Look at it without the normal human religious mind that makes everything evil because it doesn't understand it. What does this symbolism mean? Because when you look at skulls and bones actually means skill. A skill. How do you get a skill? You have a skill by doing things repeatedly, by failure and then accomplishments, accomplishments and then failure. That's how you get a skill. So there is hidden symbology behind these meanings. There's books you can tap into. Inbox me if you want those types of shits. Is like, but it's everywhere though. Jazz on Amazon. I'm doing book reads. You see what I'm saying? Holler at us on every Sunday for occult Sunday service, or hit a nigga up for a consultation. You just need, if you ain't just becoming into this spiritual shit and you just need somebody to talk to, because I understand those type of people out there. They don't have people to talk to in their city, in their circle, in their family. So they need somebody with understanding to talk to them, not talk at them, but talk to them with understanding. I understand because I was there. My heart is filled with compassion. You see what I'm saying? I can't write nobody off because I understand we are all God. Not the gods, but God in one, in small fractions. So don't confuse the planes. Understand the difference between masculine and feminine, right? You need to understand that the masculine principle is force, which is dynamic, which is movement, which is free flowing movement. I know that you thought it was something else. I have a video going over that, so I'm not going to go too heavy in it, which is called The Rise of the Divine Feminine and Masculine Principles, Part 3, with me and she. Her name is She, with me and She Coffee and Tarot. Go to her for a tarot reading. She's great. She reads the energies, not just the pictures, right? She does superb readings. So, the masculine and feminine principle. The feminine principle is form. It creates form. So what does that mean? Why do you think we call this Mother Earth? Ponder. Why do you think we call this Mother Earth? It's a feminine principle. You also have to understand when we're looking at the tree of life, which is here, right? The blue is the masculine, the red is the feminine. The feminine is the pillar of force. This is the pillar of force. This is the pillar of form. The feminine pillar is the pillar of form, where it creates form, destroys form, and creates other forms. And then you have the masculine pillar, where it is the pillar of force, which is the pillar of spirit, which is the pillar of soul, consciousness, which is free flowing, loving, and giving. Huh? What my other one? So this is also called the pillar. The feminine pillar is also called the pillar of severity. The masculine pillar is also called the pillar of mercy. Mercy, love, and nurturing and growth and prosperity is a masculine principle. You see what I'm saying by don't confuse the planes? You need to understand these things. Because you don't know what you're doing when you're working with these spirits and doing your rituals. These principles play out in masculine and feminine spirits, or spirits identified as male or female, right? You can have a female depicted feminine. I mean, you can have a female depicted. What the fuck I was going to say? You can have a female depicted nurturing spirit, but understand that's a masculine principle behind it. That's why we don't confuse the planes. But because that's why we don't use our ego to see what we identify. Oh, that's a woman. See, when you see Mayat, you think she is this nice, by human terms, this nice, beautiful woman. But what do we say? Mayat is the principle that does not release suffering on the soul. Mayat applies pressure and cracks the motherfucking egg and continues to crack it until that bitch open up. When that noggin open up, and finally realize that it is Mayat the whole motherfucking time. This is what I'm talking about. Marcos Lucas. Peace. S.O. motherfucking P. We standing on principle. I know you're probably catching the ass end of it, but please rewatch this. I have it titled as 3 Step for a Guide for Spiritual Beginners, but it works for advanced as well. It works for advanced spiritual people as well. That's my struggle right now. Do I cut some of these people and situation off, or am I being challenged to work with it and view it in a different way? See, we have to have a person to talk J Bow here, because that makes a difference. It makes a difference. Lawless Blaze, appreciate you. Appreciate you. You've been showing love. You've been showing love. Standing on principle. You've been standing on motherfucking principle. Appreciate you for showing love. This is Cosmic P we pushing here. But yeah, J Bow here, well, see, that makes a difference, because you got to get more deeper into which way your life is structured up and where it's set and which way you going on your spiritual path. So it may be time to cut that energy off, or it may be time to go head on straight dealing with that. Go head on straight dealing with that. It just depends. But either way, when you deal with it, you still win. Why? Because no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. Obstacles are only what? Opportunities. So we understand the masculine and feminine principles and forms. If you need, you know what I'm saying, you need some guidance on that, you need help with understanding that, tap in the DM. We're going to run a consultation. We're going to run a chit chat, right? But like, you got to respect when somebody's put the work in. I do. I paid for Brother Panic's products. I paid for Brother Panic's class. No, I didn't pay for his class. My bad. Take that back. I didn't take his class at that time because I was whatever the fuck the case, the reason may be. I never took the class, and I wish I should have. I take Travis Major's class. I paid for tarot readings. So anything that I see valuable, I'm gonna pay for it. When you pay attention. When you pay attention. That's just how it is. And like, we all have time, right? And that's nothing. That's something, even though it's an illusion, it's something we don't get back. And the time, the 11 years plus that I put into this work and getting to these levels of understanding, the fuck ups, the mishaps, the misunderstandings, I can help a motherfucker out. Other people that do the same shit, they can help motherfuckers out. But some people may like my personality more. That's fine. I'm here. I fuck with you too. And some people may not like my personality and say, fuck him. And that's cool. I'm already all done with that 30-second pep shit of acceptance. I've gotten there. Right? So this is what we're talking about. You need to refine your standards, right? Because the holistic principle of all these three I'm going over is what? Refine your standards, lower your expectations. If you just entered and don't know exactly what that means, you have to rewatch the video. I said it at the beginning. What refine your standards and lowering your expectations means. This is cosmic peak. This is SOP that we stand on. The principles that we stand on. Standing on principle, right? The third one is dealing with shadow work. When you're dealing with shadow work, I may find another name for it because people like to run when you hear shadow work because the human mind consciously already in its ego form already dictates it as something scary and bad. When you say shadow, ooh, the shadow, something like that is unattainable, right? That's not the case. What is shadow work? When you dig deep inside of yourself and question yourself and look at how you created these forms and patterns. Look at your genetic history. Look at your family. Look at how you got in these situations that you got in, good or bad. Why am I here? You have to deal with the jealousy in you. You have to deal with the arrogance in you. You got to deal with the asshole in you. You got to figure out. You have to sit the fuck still, try to focus on one point, or fucking daydream and make it work. You can do it the same way. Some people say they can't meditate. You can daydream and make this shit work. Or you can write this shit out and make this shit work. Because sometimes when you look, this is the point of shadow work. You need to be looking at these aspects of yourself that are not the part of you that's not most useful and appropriate or desirable, and things that you want to change. You have to look at these from a different perspective. Put yourself back in those situations in a mental state, right? Allow those emotions to come up and look at it from third person, right? This mic is the situation. This is an example. This mic is the situation or shit that I do or replays of actual events that carried in life that remind me of, I mean, that's a representation of the shadow work on whatever part of me that I need to work on. You need to be standing back here, watching it play out, allowing those motions to flow in, right? You need to stay at that point and observe. Because sometimes when you look at yourself back on a replay, you see how much of a fool that is. And you see where the fuck that shit come from. So you need to self-analyze is what shadow work is. You have to. And you also, when you come into this spiritual shit, you need to also understand when you come in, it gets you get real enthusiastic about being spiritual. Oh, you got something new now. Oh, you excited. You doing all the rituals, you buying all the candles, you got all the sage, you got all the Palo Santos, you got all the dragon's blood, you got all the no man, you got all the shit. You doing all the shit, shit working, shit shaking, shit popping, Holmes. And then boom, you hit a dry period. And shit ain't coming through as fast as it used to. Shit ain't breaking down like it used to break down for you, player. Shit then slowed up. You got a latent period. What's the deal with that? What's the deal with that? The deal with that is the universe, the cosmos works on a wave pattern. So you have your ups and your downs. You have your pendulum swings, buddy. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's how this shit works. This shit swings. So you're gonna have those down moments, right? That's what comes with it. So it's okay when you go through those dry moments where shit's not coming through. That's part of it. Most people may give up at these points, but not the real adepts like us, like you watching. Not you. You don't give up. You need to just take a break. Take a break. Dig? If you're on YouTube, if you're on IG, come on over here to YouTube. My Gnosis. You see it right there? Come on over here to YouTube, man. So you need to leave um J Ball Hill said, that's what that was me like all summer. Dry after a wet ass spring. But we wet again, baby. No diddy. You see what I'm saying? You go through these points. Let me end Instagram disconnected. So let me go on and end that. We go through these points though, right? We go through these points. So if we going through these points, we got to understand that's what's supposed to be happening. That's the cosmic rhythm and flow right there. All right. That's the cosmic rhythm and flow. So you go through these dry points, but that don't mean it's done because you got to understand you put a lot of work in down here on this plane. So now work is also being put on the other planes. There's a latent period. There's a latent period. It's something else I want to say, but I don't want to go too deep into it because it'll have me going off on a tangent. But it's very good information. I'll do a video on it. And because this is my theory and this is what I came up with dealing with dreamless sleep. What's actually happening with the spirit when you go into a dreamless state? For people like me who dream a lot, it's like, oh, why I ain't been having dreams? Then boom, out of nowhere, it come back. And then that dry period of where you're not having dreams happens again. Then boom, it come back out of nowhere. Juiced up. These are principles you need to understand. It's okay. Keep a journal. Write your dreams down. Hey, if you got an iPhone, they have inside of the notes, you can actually create a voice note inside of the notes, and it automatically translates it into words. Did you hear what I just said? Use that tool, Mr. and Mrs. I don't like AI. You got the latest iPhone. You got you got Wi-Fi. Right? Facts. Then what make the good moments? You know what make them good moments? The dry period. You need that latent period. It's good. It's conducive with what you're trying to do. It's okay. I have them. Everybody has them. Everybody spiritual teacher you've ever heard has those moments. How do I know? Because I've been through and I've talked to other ones. They've been through it. This is what happens. This is how it goes. Right? So let's read what Miss Dion Fortune said. It is not enough for our mental health and spiritual development that we draw down the divine light. It's not enough for our spiritual health or our mental health and our spiritual development that we just pull down from the God source or pull down from the gods. Why is it not enough? This is a two-way street. You don't just take. Like that's the same thing you brought over from Christianity. God, please do this for me. God, please do this for me. God, please do this for me. God, please. God damn, begging ass, nigga. Begging ass. You ain't asked me what I want. You asked God. Did you pray to God and see how God doing? Need any help, anything up there, God? You ain't asked none of them questions, lame ass nigga. We must also draw up the earth forces. You must also draw up the earth forces. There's forces here. That's why I say everything around me evolves. As I evolve, my elementals evolve. Take Travis Major's course, LVX 777. He has a course on elemental magic or elemental spiritual authority. We're talking about spiritual authority here. He has a course on that. You should take it. So you don't just pull down from higher sources. That's selfish. And you're not understanding cosmic P. You see what I'm saying? You don't understand cosmic P. You ain't standing on principle. You're about to get a spanking from the principle, which is the divine feminine. Yeah, it's about a C plus. That's the grade you got. That's the grade now motherfuckers getting. T.O. Appreciate you for always coming through. Pushing cosmic P. Standing on principle. That's right. Like a battery, a circuit of force. That's exactly what we're getting into next Sunday. The circuit of force. Matter of fact, no. Is that the chapter we read? That's the chapter we read last week. That's where I'm reading this from. An applied magic, Dion Fortune. The chapter is called Circuit of Force. SOP. She also has a book called Circuit of Force, and I have it. The Unfortunate is an excellent writer to demystify all this occult shit. See what I'm saying? It's a circuit of force. You don't just pull down, you send up as well. So these elemental spirits, which if you just watch my last YouTube video last Sunday, right? Applied Magic, which is what we talking about right now. We did a very thorough commentary on that. Elementals are spirits that are patterns. So this pattern that that's a spirit. A spirit lies there. Yes. And a spirit is either being raised up or just finding something to do at that moment. Are you evolving your elemental spirits? Huh? Are you evolving your elemental spirits? Could make these habits consecrate. Consecrate, which means to do a ritual, or do some work, or do an action with the thought of the highest form of divinity that you can ever conceive of at that center pointed focus. So when I hit this vape, is there a higher pointed consecrated of the highest point of divinity, center pointed focus on when I do this? You motherfuckers will never know because it ain't your business. Tian, appreciate you for showing up. Another cosmic P pusher. She showed up. So when we moving like this, right? When we understand, because elemental spirits is not just earth, air, water, and fire. That's just the basic shit that human consciousness, that the ego can only understand. We occultists, we spiritualists, we esoteric students. We go way beyond that. When we deal with fire, we deal with the fire of the wise, the air of the wise. Hint, hint, that's a code, but we're not going to go there, right? So understanding that everything around you needs to evolve. I just gave you 3 keys of how to make sure you standing on principle as a beginner or advanced. If you advance and you probably slacked off a little bit, this is just a reminder. That's it. I got to remind my goddamn self as well. Why? Because I'm here in this human nigga experience just like you. My niggas and my wiggers. Just like you. Let's finish this. So we must it's not okay. It's not enough for our mental health and spiritual development that we draw down the divine light, but what? We must also draw up the earth forces. Only too often, mental health is sacrificed to spiritual development. Motherfuckers that's why I had to hit the last one with shadow work. Motherfuckers be trying to skip the shadow work and hop straight into spirituality, thinking that they got it all because they doing some rituals, working with whoever, whatever spirit, whatever dark spirit or light, love and light spirit. You think you're doing something, but you skipping over the mental health. You're not dealing with your mental health. You need to deal with your mental health by checking your motherfucking self. That's it. That's facts. That's P. That's cosmic P. I'm saying that from my heart because I had to go through it. People in the chat had to go through it. We have to go through it. I'm here to help. I'm here to be of motherfucking service. That's what the fuck I'm here on this plane for. I talk like this because I'm a regular nigga. I ain't gotta use holy thou beloved and all that shit, that fake ass shit. They probably need to do a lot more shadow work. Motherfuckers don't hold conversations like that. Bet when somebody hit their car, I bet they'll be like, oh, beloved, divine masculine and feminine principles, oh, beloved. Bet they don't talk like that when somebody smacked their car, when somebody robbed them, when somebody smacked them. I bet they, bitch, ho, fuck you. What the fuck you doing, man? Why you wasn't looking? See what I'm saying? Then that shit comes out. But you ain't got to worry about that with me because I already talk like that to you right now. I ain't got shit to hide. I ain't got to come looking, acting, dressing, speaking a certain way. My principles, my values and morals are already in alignment. I've already done fucked up shit in the streets. I am way past that lifestyle. I am here to repay debt by helping people upgrade their motherfucking spiritual systems by standing on cosmic P. People be trying to call Mr. Manhattan, Dr. Manhattan overnight. How long did it take until it felt like you did enough shadow work? My Leo ass. There you go, right there. That's your answer right here. It's never ending, love. But you do get better. You do get better. You'll see those aspects of you start to advance. You'll see you don't react and respond to the same things in the same way. I'm not saying it won't cause something to rise up in you. Like if you're dealing with, not you personally, but just for example, if you're dealing with jealousy or you're dealing with you always snapping and going off on people. You always got this to say about a woman, or you always got this to say about a man. When men do this and your kids do that, it like you won't have that same reaction. It won't have that same control over you. It's not to say that it won't spark something in you, but you'll know you advanced because now you look at it from a different perspective. That was one of the other ones. I'm not sure if you just came in, but that was one of the other ones. This mic is that situation, and this is you. You got to come to a point where you can view it like this, because when you view it from a third person perspective, you see like, damn, that's foolery. Damn, I know where I get that from. Damn, that come from that. Damn, why do I feel like that? Damn, like that's where to get to. She said, okay. So yeah, it's ongoing. Unfortunately, we gonna forever be unfolding ourselves, um, forever balancing ourselves. That I think that is the whole plight of the manifest reality. Am I breaking up, y'all? Somebody drop in a comment. Am I breaking up? Or am I still coming through clear? Am I choppy? But like I feel like that's the whole point of the manifest reality. Life itself is balancing, right? ING, which means it's an ongoing process. It's not a balanced ed at the end. They say I'm good. It's not a balanced at the end, right? A balanced with when you put ed as something, it means something is past tense. It's done. It's not done until we leave this bitch, and even then, it may not be. But dealing with our human shit down here is what this is why you do it in the working world, the waking world, right? This is why we do it in the waking world. So our whole life is mayat. Like I showed you, the divine feminine principle is manifest reality. There's nothing and no one who can ever suppress the divine feminine principle, because the divine feminine principle is reality itself. Ain't nothing nobody can do to Big Mama. Please, here, you heard it first here. Probably not first here, but in this manner, you heard it here. Can't nobody do nothing to Big Mama. Can't nobody do nothing to the divine feminine principle because it's not a woman. It's a principle. And that principle is the whole cause of reality. It is reality. Remember that, because that's P. Now, we must also draw up the earth forces. Only too often, mental health is sacrificed to spiritual development through ignorance of or denial of this fact. So, mental health is sacrificed to spiritual development. You trying to run to be the most spiritual and all that shit, and you sacrificing your mental health. Not good. And that's done through ignorance or denial of that fact, right? Nature is God made manifest. You have to understand that. This is why Kether sits here and Malkuth sits here. Why does Earth or Malkuth consciousness not sit over here to the left or the right? That's because this is God, what we like to call, what people call God or source or the universe or whatever, sits here, and Earth sits here because God has sacrificed itself, which becomes what we call Jesus, or the sacrifice God or Christ sacrificed itself to come down to the physical plane. Nature is God made manifest. And that right there, y'all, I'll tell you, those are the that's the 3-step quick guide for spiritual beginners or advanced beginners, or not advanced beginners, or advanced folks in this spiritual shit. This is principle. Not sure what anybody you've been listening to on TikTok is saying or Instagram is saying. This is what I'm saying, and this is principle. It checks out across the board. You can check the Vedics, you can check the Egyptian shit, you can check the Greek shit, you can check the Nordic shit, you can check the goddamn Golden Dawn shit, you can check the OTO shit. Whatever the fuck you want to check. My shit check out across the board. And this is coming from experience, not just the book. I read books over here because I know niggas don't like to read. And it helps me to read more as well. And then I get to have a community with these motherfuckers. Look who in the group, look in the chat, right? Why not? Like-minded individuals. Being able to identify ego versus spirit is key. And being able to see when things are filtered through your traumas and how that messes with things, and then how to work through that trauma. So work that trauma so your lens is no longer screwed. This is key. This is P. This is cosmic P. And that's why we SOP. And be patient with yourself too. Hopefully T-Ann is still in here. You're getting love over here. Be patient with yourself. That's key. Let me add that into there. Be patient with thyself. All right? Be patient. You can't be that hard on yourself. Yes, you have to push yourself, but you need to be patient and understanding. All right? You need to be patient and understanding. We're at 117. That's another 17. So, let me see what else I have. Oh, he says, J-Bot says TikTok and IG are telling everyone that they don't need to do anything because the alien light lords are going to turn on our superpowers so we can vanquish the reptilians and all that. That's what y'all out there listening to? If that's what y'all out there listening to, I hate it. I hate it. God damn. I appreciate everybody that showed up here, man. Appreciate everybody that showed up. I didn't want to go over an hour. We 18 minutes over the hour. Sean B, if you don't follow me on IG, here it is at the bottom of the screen, Sean B. Hit me up on IG and we'll set something up for these consultations. I charge by the hour. So it's going to at least need to be at least 1 hour. When you're talking about this spiritual shit anyway, it's not going under an hour at all. It's not going under an hour anyway. It's probably going to go past the hour. But yes, Sean B, hit me up on IG. What's your name on IG? Let me, before I get up out of here, comment your name on IG, or if it's Sean B, I'll find you. But I like to make sure because some, they be having bots and shit, and motherfuckers be doing all that type shit. And if you just coming in, hit that like button. Social media man cooked for a while now. Facts. Hit that like button and support a soul that supports and encourages the evolution of yours. That's all I'm asking for. Appreciate you, Don Tree. Have a good day. Have a prosperous day. Always remember, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over motherfucking pain. And as always, we standing on P. We pushing cosmic P. That's all I got to say. We standing on cosmic P. Standing on cosmic P. You standing on cosmic P. Get the fuck from around me. We standing on cosmic P. Wow, wow, wow. We standing on cosmic P. Wow, wow, wow. We standing on cosmic P. Wow, wow, wow. We standing on cosmic P. We standing on cosmic P. Look, Sean P. Sean B. Hey, look at here. Look at me. I'm gonna drop my email in a motherfucking text. Here go my email in the chat. Do you have any form of social media, Sean P? Any form of social media? Wow, 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 wow. We standing on Cosmic P. What's that mean right there? We standing on Cosmic P. This SOP. We standing on Cosmic P. We standing on Cosmic P. We standing on Cosmic P. Wow. Sean Bell. I gave my email. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. I think I just pinned to the top of the comments. I'm trying to wait on you till you hit me back and say something before I get up out of here. But looks like you probably already dipped out, thinking I'm about to dip out. So yeah, ain't no wrong. Set up an IG and hit me up, fam. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. And as always, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. Ain't no obstacles. Why? Because every obstacle actually is a fucking opportunity. Remember, we standing on P. That's cosmic P to be motherfucking exact. Bet. I bet you do want to record to this big TO. I got a song to it already. My nigga made it for me before he died. Long live truth, man. I had to find me a beat that I can use as the intro and outro that I won't get hit for some copyright shit. So why not? I got a homie who made me a beat back in the day, and I bought it and I owed it. And I own it now. So I can use that as the Cosmic P intro. Wow. Wow, wow. Peace, y'all. Always love, man. Stand on P.